Hello everyone, welcome to another Summerslam review. I'm Brett Mix here on the channel Macho Wrestling 101. I do reviews of old school matches and pay-per-views daily, and I stick up to date with Raw, SmackDown pay-per-views, so if you like that kind of thing, hit subscribe and like. It really help me out. I'm trying to get my channel off the ground. Thanks a lot for that. And the new SummerSlam review we're doing today is SummerSlam 92 from Wembley Stadium from London, England in the UK. So August 1992. We got Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan on commentary, and this pay-per-view is known for its two big matches: Bret Hart and the Bulldog for the IC title in the main event, and Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, for the WWF title halfway through the show as the other main event. This was one of the outdoor stadiums, Wembley Stadium. You can see the night sky, and you see the day sky and the night sky and how it evolves during the night. I love that aspect of wrestling pay-per-views that are outside. It's just something about the presentation. It just makes it a spectacle. I can't think of any other better word to describe it than that. To start off the night, we had a tag team match between the Legion of Doom and Money Inc. That's DiBiase and IRS. This was a basic tag team match to get the crowd going. The heels worked on Road Warrior Hawk until Animal got the hot tag, and then kind of did the IRS and DiBiase in. Jimmy Hart was in the corner of Money Inc. He distracted the ref while IRS hit a drop kick to knock Animal down. Animal got right back up and whipped DiBiase into IRS, who was then on the apron, and Animal then hit a running power slam on Ted DiBiase for the pinfall at 15-10. So I give this match 2 stars and 3/4. Like I said, a basic tag team match where the heels wear down the face, cutting off the ring, making frequent tags, cutting off their side of the ring to make sure you can't get the hot tag. But once the hot tag was there, LOD smoked through Money Inc. and got the victory. So like I said, 2 stars and 3/4 for that opener here at SummerSlam 92. Next up, we had Virgil versus Nails. Virgil's gimmick was just a convict who was out seeking revenge on the world while Virgil was starting his singles babyface push. Virgil got a few good offensive moves in, but Nails ultimately choked out Virgil, and at 3:55 they made him the winner by submission. Just a squash match, and a pretty bad one at that. So I give it a dud. I don't give too many matches a dud on pay-per-views here, but that one deserves a dud. So nothing there. And then we had heel versus heel, and Shawn Michaels versus the model Rick Martel. There was a few other cases where they've done heels versus heels, but strangely this night featured a lot of alignments. Face versus face, Bulldog-Bret. Face versus face, Savage Warrior. Heel versus heel, Sherry Martel as manager of Shawn Michaels versus Rick Martel. That's why I got the Martels wrong. Rick Martel and Sherry Martel. I wonder if there's any. I don't know if they're meant to be any relation, or if there is any relation. If there is, I'm surprised I don't know about it. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Either way, this match ended in a double disqualification, as Michaels was trying to check on Sherry, who took a bump to the floor. Not the greatest ending, but the actual in-ring work was pretty good, so I still give it 2 stars. Next up, we had the tag team titles on the line as the Natural Disasters, who are now babyfaces, defending against the Beverly Brothers, who had the Genius in their corner. This match went 10 minutes and 30 seconds, probably about 7 minutes too long. It really should have been just a few minutes. It was not the worst work, but just a long match for these two teams. I gave it 1.25 stars. It was pretty boring, to be honest. Don't like describing a match just by one word as flat as boring, but when it's boring, it's boring. Next up, we had the Crush and the Repo Man, another squash here. Crush won at 5:41 after his cranium submission crushing finisher hold. After that, the followed a power slam, of course. I'll give this 0.5 star just for Crush's sake. He wasn't the worst wrestler in the world. Wasn't the best wrestler either, but that's another story. and then the Macho Man and the Warrior. And the story here was who was going to sell out with Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair, who would come to the ring halfway through. Savage and Warrior have a perfect chemistry in the ring there. No pun intended to Mr. Perfect, but their match a year and a half earlier at WrestleMania was one of the greatest matches of all time. So the chemistry these two had didn't change. Just for the fact that Macho Man was once again a babyface, that's the only difference. And that this was for the WWF title and not a retirement match. It was good to see Savage retire his Macho King gimmick with that retirement match, but the Macho Man gimmick came back, of course, later in the year due to Jake Roberts. But that's another story. But Savage and Warrior, the first half of this match was just great. They know how to work the crowd. Warrior with his pumping, Savage with his finger wiggling and hands, whereas Warrior pumps everything up with the ropes and these things while he's going at it. And then he warriors up like he did in this match. He warriored up instead of hulking up. He warriored up where Savage was beating on him, and Warrior just kept rocking and rolling with his head, saying, "Nope, your offense isn't going to hit me." And Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair, they got involved about halfway through, as I said, and they kept Warrior and Savage. Neither one was saying they were going to sell out. And they tried to trick both of these men up. So it was clear that neither man sold out, and they were just there to start shit. Both men kind of won, and both men kind of lost. Savage went up top while the ref was dealing with Mr. Perfect on the floor. Macho Man turned to Ric Flair and jumped towards him, but Flair avoided it and hit him with the chair to the knee. The ref counted Macho Man out due to his bad knee on the outside and gave the win to Ultimate Warrior at 28 minutes. So Warrior wins the match, but Macho Man retains the WWF title. So the fans go home happy. Well, they didn't go home at this match, but they went home, figure of speech, happy. Because both men won something. But however, Savage didn't get the win, and Ultimate Warrior never got the title. So both men also lost. Really good match here. I give it 4 stars and a quarter. Some people might think that's a little bit too high, but I really dig their work together. I think it's just great. Two of the most colorful, eccentric, just magnificent characters in wrestling history. There are better words to describe them. Impeccable, unique. I'll just stop there. I'm trying to just think of words right now, and it's not working. So anyways, that's 4 stars and a quarter, I think. And up next is Kamala versus Undertaker. Paul Bear's in his corner. He comes out on the hearse. And Harvey Whippleman and Kim Chi are in Kamala's corner. Undertaker and Kamala had a couple of good instances in the ring with a few good shots here or there, but it only went 3:27, and Undertaker Kim Chi hit Undertaker in the ring in the ribs, so the ref called for the bell, and Undertaker won by the DQ. I'll give this half a star for the Undertaker being new, and the hearse coming down to the ring, and the nighttime atmosphere made it a little bit more, like the darker atmosphere made this match seem a little bit more grotesque or whatever. I think it would have been better if the Undertaker's match was put on while the night sky was getting dark. I think that might have looked a little bit better. So maybe put this where the Earthquake match was. But nonetheless, it still looked good in the black sky. So anyways, that match, half a star just for Undertaker for arriving on the hearse. The match was nothing at all to be watched again. But the main event for the WWF title and the main event for the IC title will be, and now we're up to the main event for the IC title. We've heard a lot of DVD reviews, book reviews about Bret Hart during this main event with the Bulldog. Bret Hart defended the IC title against Davey Boy Smith, and of course Davey Boy Smith's wife and Bret's sister Diana is at ringside, and she's watching and hoping for the best, cheering for Davey Boy, her husband, obviously. Bulldog and Bret put on a classic here. That's all that can be said. I like their season beatings match a little bit better from In Your House '95. I rate that 4 stars and 3/4. I rate this main event match 4.5 stars. Bret carried Bulldog in this match. You can see Bret talking to Bulldog. He has him in a headlock like this, and you can see him going like this with his eyes. You can tell he's talking to somebody. He's talking to somebody, but you can just see his eyes go like this. But it doesn't matter if Bret had to call the audible. Like, Bulldog held his own, and Bret was such an expert selling Bulldog's powerful offense. All those hard Irish whips to the corner. Nobody could sell them like Bret. And Bret was just untouchable around this time for being in his prime. Anything he touched turned to gold. And few wrestlers have that kind of talent. And Bret's one of them. And this match is regarded as one of his most proudest moments and one of the best matches in the history of SummerSlam or IC title or their careers. So Vince McMahon did his "What a SummerSlam! What a night! Oh my God!" Maybe not the "Oh my God" part, but pretty much "What a SummerSlam!" I can't do his voice. But maybe I used to be able to, but that's another story. All right, so I'll rate this pay-per-view 2 matches over 4 stars. Remember that. I'll rate this pay-per-view a 7 out of 10. It might be a bit high, but those 2 mega matches are good enough to go 5 out of 10 just from those alone. And the fact that it's from Wembley Stadium in UK and that environment gives it another star to make it 6 out of 10. And then everything else that was good on the show just made it 7. And then it stops there because there's a lot of bad stuff too. So we don't want to go any higher than 7. So that's how I wrote SummerSlam 92. Any thoughts in the comments section? They're welcome. Hit like and subscribe as always if you haven't, or if you just came across this video. And we'll see you for SummerSlam 93. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.